gotta say, I really gotta say, hopefully everybody can hear me. I say everybody, that's just a habit, but it's literally like one person watching. Thank you for that one person watching. Appreciate you. Let me know if you can hear me, see me okay. For the first time, I'm kind of shocked, but glad, because finally, the Simpsons are wrong. So you guys don't have to worry so much about their prediction about the end of the world and other stuff going on. Doesn't matter. Why? Because once again, Trump has proven them wrong. Yeah, that's right, Simpsons. You got it wrong. Trump does not die in a rally, and he doesn't get shot. Wow. Well, I would not like a close call like that myself. I could not have it. I can only imagine the craziness that went down. I'm not completely 100% informed. This is on the fly, guys. If there were any deaths, I know that the shooter was killed, allegedly. I heard that there were some injuries. Some other people were injured. Who knows if those people were injured by the shooter or the random gunfire back aiming at the shooter. So I don't know. I don't know what to think about this one. Definitely, it's been a subject that has been pulling people apart. It's been kind of tearing at the moral fibers of people, of neighbors, people who used to get along don't get along anymore just because of their political views. There are people in the streets who are disrespecting one another left and right. It's just craziness. This is why I honestly, I don't get into politics. I don't really follow them. The biggest thing I've been hearing on the internet and things like TikTok and other formats is like, well, I'm going to take a vote for the lesser evil. People saying it's just a puppet, which I've said many times before. Doesn't matter who's in there. To me, it's almost like the government is pretty much the puppet master. And in order to distract the people, they have like turns at who is on the left, who's on the right, and they have somebody there for them to direct the traffic of hate or anger to that person, whether it be Trump, Biden, whether it be Nixon, whether it be the Kennedys, whether it be to the Bushes. It just seems like that's what it is to me. And a lot of people concentrate so hard on the president-elects and that race that they're really not even looking at other things that are a little bit important, which is pretty much like the day-to-day life laws that are getting passed and things like that, you know. The propositions that people almost kind of don't care about them. They go and they put their vote in for the president, and then they because they didn't read anything on any of the propositions, they just go boom, 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 boom. Kind of like when you didn't want to take that test in high school, so you just circled everything just to get through it, and you know what I mean. So I don't know. Was he shot? Did he get shot? It almost sounds wrong to even to kind of question that, right? But come on, it doesn't surprise me in the least bit if it was orchestrated. There's been much bigger conspiracies put together and things going on in the government than just that question. Who's joining us right now? We got Josh Roach. What is up? What's going on, brother? He says, how's it going? It's going good. just talking about this whole Trump incident here where he was allegedly shot. I say allegedly, why? Because he has a bullet wound allegedly in the place of your head where it doesn't matter what direction you turn. This is your ear. You turn left, the bullet's still going here. You turn right, it's still going here. Do you know how hard or fast you have to turn? People are saying that he turned, and because he turned so quick, it deflected the bullet. I don't think so. No, that's not how the laws of physics work in this real world. That's not how a bullet travels and gets deflected, okay? Your head is not as hard as a crocodile's head or an alligator's head to deflect a 22 caliber bullet. You know, and who knows what caliber that was. I don't know. We see it in wrestling all the time, right? Razor blading and fake blood, and it just seems so orchestrated to me. It was crazy. The security service that was there for him, and Secret Service, sucked. I would hate to have them as my private security. They're all looking down, holding him, supposedly holding him down. You can see this in the pictures. Go to YouTube. You can see it in every news anchor. Every news report. The guy, if you're Secret Service, dude, you are going to body slam that guy. You're protecting him, keeping him flat on the ground, clearing everything out, then move him out of the way. Why would you hold him up and let a whole 1/3 of his body reach out like this, making it clear? You don't, I mean, this is easy to think about when you're a civilian. Just think about a mind of a person that's there ready to do something, to actually shoot somebody. You're not going to just do it on your own all the time. You're going to have a sniper or something. They left him wide open for a second shot. Wide open for a second shot. And this security sucks. It's the most horrific. I'm not for the guy. I don't necessarily agree with all his methods, politics, or whatever. But you got to be the most suckiest security in the world. What is it? Top flight security? Who was on the job? Ice Cube and his cousin Day Day? Come on now. They left him wide open 3-4 times, man. That guy could have taken a bullet from any direction. Any direction. I don't know. It's just the fact that he has been convicted as a criminal, criminal charges, and now this whole thing happens where he is shot and rises out of it like a hero now with his arm pumped up and all this and that. It's just a little weird for me. Definitely made him look like a hero. It's going to give him a huge pump. You know what I'm saying? It's going to give him a huge jump up there. And his voters and ratings and those who weren't for him are going to be for him now. So, I don't know. It's just a little weird, a little crazy for me. Don't know. Josh Roach comments. He says, it's interesting for sure. Interesting and weird and strange and everything else, guy. Yeah. So, I mean, if there are injured persons, my hearts go out to anybody that was injured. If they had any fatalities, I'm sorry to hear that. I did hear that supposedly.
I did watch a video of a guy getting drug off with a headshot out of the crowd. I'll send you the video. They threw a quick towel over his head and ushered him off the thing.
Was that? I saw it. And by the way, guys, welcome my co-host here, Ethan Thompson. This is on the fly. It's a Saturday. It's not your everyday goat milk diaries here, but I did see that image you shared with me. I was wondering if that was actually the shooter.
That was the shooter. That image was the shooter. That
image. So they did get the shooter.
So a lot of wildlife. I don't know how much you've been able to keep up on it. I've been watching it on and off all day. So this dude scales a building 250, 300 yards away from the rally.
What's up, Zach? What's up, Adam? He says, no, it wasn't. Okay, well, go ahead. He scales up a building?
He scales up a building that was 250, 300 yards away from the rally, which should have been covered by the Secret Service to begin with.
I was just telling everybody, though. Did you see how bad of a job they did covering him up for his security?
Well, I was talking to Davenport because Kevin, former FBI, and he was just pointing out thing after thing after thing after thing. And I didn't even know this. The security detail, when they made the cocoon around him?
Yeah.
His security detail is actually supposed to be his height or taller.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a short chick there. There's an image where they're bringing him down the steps, and one of the chicks has a smile on her face. Like in the middle of the action kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like, come on. It's really weird, man. It's really weird. They gave him full top body access. His arm was up and everything, and looking at the crowd. If you're security, I don't care if you're president or if you're George Bush, whoever you are. If you even try to peek out while I'm trying to use my body to save your life, I'm gonna grab you by your wig and pull your ass down to the ground. That's, you know what I mean?
I want to go back to the shooter though. So the shooter on this, as soon as I heard the gunshots, I'm like, oh, AR-15. Easy to identify. I shot enough guns in my life. You know the different sounds they make, and you can tell the cycle rates. And so I was telling a buddy in chat, I was like, yeah, it's AR-15 for sure.
It wasn't like a really light, high-pitched pop like when you hear a 22. And think about this, if it was a high-powered rifle or even a 9, his ear would not be on his head. Even if it missed his head and hit his ear would not be there.
Well, no. So did you see the photo somebody was able to capture, one of his press secretaries or something? The guy's just snapping pictures. Right before Trump puts his hand over his ear, he snaps a picture. It's the bullet whizzing by his head. The fucking craziest picture you're gonna see, dude. It's just fucking wild. But from 200, but like I was saying with the shooter, he scales a building, uses a ladder. There was an interview with a guy that was like, yo, the roof, somebody's slithering up the roof. And he's trying to point it out he said he's trying to point it out to the Secret Service for a few minutes. And you're like, there should have been a sniper on that roof from the Secret Service.
Here's my thing. In which direction did the bullet zing by his head? And is that angle possible from where the guy's on the roof coming down?
It's almost diagonal. It's almost diagonal. It's oh no, they have high grade camera, dude. These cameras that they have. But yeah, literally the shot was almost diagonally to Trump. So it would if the shooter would have hit him, it would have ear holed him. But Trump turned his head, and when Trump turned his head, it clipped the ear.
But here's the thing: Trump wouldn't have turned his head unless he felt something, and at that point, it would have been too late. I've watched this clip so many times. He didn't react till he went, and he went to grab his ear because he already felt it. No matter how fast you turn, the bullet's coming down this way. Even if you hear and you turn, you don't have the speed to avoid that bullet. It's going down the neck, down the chest.
So what happens is at 250 yards, right? Let's just call it 250 yards. We'll split because they say it's between 200 and 300 yards. So like I can go grab my AR-15 right now that's zeroed in at 50 yards. So for me, again, the shooter to me wasn't very knowledgeable because at that distance, you don't aim for the head, you aim for the chest.
You aim for the body, yeah.
So that's one. I think he just popped off a shot thinking he was Call of Duty. You know, he popped off a shot thinking he's playing Call of Duty because you aim for the chest, and at 250 yards, my gun is zeroed at 50 yards. So at 50 yards, I can hit a plate this size in the middle and leave a little hole like this at 50 yards with multiple rounds. But what people don't understand, a bullet doesn't shoot on a flat trajectory. A bullet, when you fire a bullet from a gun, this is an AR-15 round. This is an AR-15 round. When you fire this bullet, it travels up and then down. So for me, zeroing my gun at 50 yards, that point of impact at 50 yards is going to be the same point of impact at 250 yards. Within an inch. So like this bullet right here, this is if the camera zoom in, there you go. This is a green tip, 72 grain, armor piercing bullet. This will go through body armor. This will fuck shit up. Just little bullet. It's not very big. Not much bigger than a 22 round. But it's the velocity behind it. It's the amount of powder behind it. Mm-hmm. And it's the AR-15 is such an ingenious design. I love guns. So when you fire an AR-15 round, it goes in the chamber. So I'm in the chamber, I'm in the barrel, and bang. The gas expanse pushes the bullet. But at a certain point in the barrel, there's a hole on the top of the barrel where what's called a gas block. And that gas goes up the gas block, back down the gas tube, and pushes the bolt carrier that holds the bullet back into the buffer tube with a buffer spring. And then when that bullet comes back, it pulls the casing out of the barrel, flips it out, and as the bullet's coming forward, it takes another bullet from the magazine and puts it in the chamber. That all amount of time. It's called dwell time. And in that dwell time, you can hear the cycle rate of the bullet. You know what a difference between somebody shooting an AK-47, an AR-15, an M249. You just know there's a different cycle rate. But it's just a fucking ingenious design. I love it. I love guns.
To me, it's just it seems like an impossible shot and an impossible miss at the same time.
No. The thing was, it was a possible shot, but a terrible miss.
So I mean, I mean, for the position of the ear and where the ear is and where you hit the ear, and even if you were to miss the ear, you're gonna hit that surrounding area.
See, but again, the problem was he went for a headshot.
Oh, I understand, but
so you're taking the headshot. Let's say your profile of your head's 10 inches, right? Whatever. You say 10 inches. But when you move it, your profile changes. So that profile could change this way or this way. When you have your chest, let's say your chest is 36 inches across, or I don't know how wide your chest is, but you aim for the chest. Because they say you aim small, miss small. So if I'm that guy, I'm aiming at a button on his shirt. I'm aiming at if he's got an American flag pin or something, I'm aiming there, because you know what? If I miss by 8 inches,
you got that body still.
You missed by 8 inches, I just nicked his ear. And he's fist bumping the crowd. It was a wild day.
Adam, this is more. This right here is more along the lines of what I think actually happened. I heard someone speculate the shot hit the teleprompter, which broke, and flying glass caused the injury. I'm not sure. A guy.
For what it's worth, the hospital confirmed it was a bullet. So what happened was the guy fired 8 shots off. He got one that nicked Trump. He got one. If you look behind Trump, way behind Trump, there's a crane that's holding an American flag. He hit that crane that hit a hydraulic line that almost collapsed the crane. Then he hit somebody in the crowd behind him, behind Trump. And then there's a few other random shots. He said he got off 8 shots.
How many shots did they fire on this guy to take him down?
So that's the thing is right now I was watching the video. Somebody released a video, but again, it's so early. They're like, oh, this is the sniper taking out the shooter. Well, all those snipers are running probably 6.5. Again, when I say 6.5 Creedmoor, there's different sizes of bullets. There's just many sizes of bullets and many velocities. Most of these guys are running 6.5 Creedmoor. They're running 308s that are 2, 3, 4, 5 times the size of this bullet, and they're all suppressed. But they showed a video where the guy, they said it was the sniper taking a shot, but if you watch the video and you listen to the sounds of the shots, it looks like when the first shot came off, he flinched because he was on a tripod. He flinched, moved his whole tripod setup, and then tried to get it back, but was unable to. And so I don't know. I guess they fired, I heard somewhere between 3 to 5 shots on him, but they're suppressed, so they're going to sound different.
Well, there's tons of videos now. We're only going to be able to. This is going to get broken down, and it's going to be under the microscope for the next few days, and we'll find out exactly what happened there. I don't trust the politics game. If it was a shrapnel glass or shrapnel from something that the shooter missed and hit his head from ricocheting, I believe that a lot more at this point than a gunshot. Because if you're anybody in his party and you're running his campaign, I would definitely tell the hospitals, hey, if anybody asks, this was definitely a gunshot. A bullet did strike him, because it makes him look such like a huge hero.
No, I don't think it matters at that point. I don't think it matters. You still had somebody try to take a shot at your life in public where people lost their lives. So I don't think lying about a gunshot has the, especially with Trump, because Trump's such a polarizing person. I don't think it has the merit enough behind it to really matter. But if you look, this is kind of a loose sketch of the area. So it's almost a direct diagonal shot. So if he would have hit Trump clean, he would have earholed Trump. So he was going from this direction, not this direction. And then Trump because Trump, if you look, Trump was looking at boards. If you watch the press conference, he was looking at a board saying, "Oh, this board is a few months old, but if you want to, you can look at this one." And that's when he turned his head. And when he turned his head, but like I said, I don't think glass or anything. Here's the suspicious part. What's this lady's name? Pull it up so I'm not incorrect. Her name's Director Kimberly A. Cathedral. She is the 27th director of the Secret Service. She was sworn in on September 22nd, September 17th, 2022. She's part of Biden's integration policy of wanting diversity in his cabinet. In that, her prior appointment was she served as the director of global security for Pepsi.
Oh, what?
I'm not lying.
Wow.
And apparently there's a thing came out right now that in the last few weeks, Trump has asked Department of Homeland Security for more security detail. They had the minimum, they just said on TV, they had the minimum amount of security at the rally. Because Trump had asked for more security, and the Department of Homeland, which is Biden's call, was like, "Yeah, you're good. You don't need it."
Oh wow!
And him hot about it. It's just gonna get wild, and they're even placing their heads in bets on if Trump shows up to the UFC. Can you imagine how gangster that would be? Trump show up to the UFC fight tonight.
Shoot,
bro! If I was Trump, I'd be like, "Yo, get me on that fucking plane. We're going to UFC tonight, and I'm gonna come out to a fucking 50 Cent song." And
I'll tell you this though, and this is the thing when I'm talking about where it pumps him up. Already, blood in, blood out, baby. He's that big of a star now. It made him bigger. It made him bigger.
Look at Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner for the Jets.
And they have new images of the shooter.
Oh, do they?
They have new.
Oh yeah, I seen those.
He does look very hood. If you got
this is the crazy. This is the crazy Antonio Bryant.
Dude,
but how?
But see, look at that picture again. How did Secret Service allow that much body to get away from them while trying to keep this guy safe? What the hell, dude?
How much more American is that? Like, you can see here, I'm
telling you, the cameras were ready. The cameras were ready.
I know the Biden haters or the Biden lovers and the Trump haters they're just clamoring right now just for. But if you want to pay comparisons, you put a picture up like this of Donald Trump, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you say you have to pick one, and you put a picture of Joe Biden up, trying to get up some steps.
Yeah.
I just, like I said, I'm one of those. I'm a very That's
why I'm saying, like, why would the publicist for him not want to say, yes, it was a bullet, he did take a bullet, and then put that up to something like Slow Joe's picture of him can't take a step. You know what I mean? It's just strengthens everything up.
But see, that's Trump in general. That's why people love Trump, because Trump's always going to take any opportunity. He was on stage trying to get the CIA, the Secret Service off him long enough to fist bump the crowd. I fucking admire the gumption that the dude has to sell himself. Nobody in this planet sells himself harder than Donald Trump. Nobody.
And here's the thing, like, let's say you're a big guy. If you're part of that Secret Service, and it's your job to protect, would he have been able to get an arm up and away from you? That's what I'm saying. No way, it wouldn't have happened.
That's the
If Trump is stronger than you at security, and 3-4 people can't keep his arm down to get his ass out of there as quick as possible.
I wish Kevin was on here right now, because he went on a 5-minute rant about, because Kevin was a former FBI guy, and they're all trained the same way. And he went on a rant and broke down every step of the way that they fucked up and didn't do proper procedure. And it was a good 5-minute rant, but it was, I mean, tactically it was, they swarmed Trump, but they're all looking at Trump. The other guys are looking at Trump when they should be looking at the crowd, when they should be surveying the things, the size of the detail. They're shorter than him, so how are they going to cover him?
Yeah.
The length of time they took him to get off stage, he should have been drug off stage.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I've seen things happen to less important people, man. I was at a rally when I was younger in the city of Inglewood, and this director for the school got a death threat. We all took to the streets. We were all having a walkout and stuff. Somebody in the crowd, no lies, somebody in the crowd literally went like this into a bag. Bah! As a joke. You should have seen how the PD, the Inglewood PD, jumped on that dude. They slammed him to the ground. They opened up the glass door and they drug it. You could not see how they moved this body. It was lightning quick. And these guys aren't the guys that are used to that kind of attention to detail that CIA or these protective services are trained to do what they're supposed to do. That's why I'm like, oh no.
I love a good conspiracy theory, but to me, like, I know we try not to talk politics on here because there's a lot of sensitive people out there.
Especially when it comes to politics.
But I like to preface myself as I'm a very liberal conservative. I don't care about the LGBTQ. Do you have fun? I don't care about that. Abortions. I don't care if you want to get an abortion, get an abortion. But let's call a spade a spade. Let's say when the life conception happens. I don't care if you get an abortion after life conception happens. That's not the thing. My thing is I don't want to be funded from my pocket. It should be a privately funded thing. No problems. Do you like? There's so many things that like people get wrapped up in that like just make no sense. But when it boils down to it, it's just like you're gonna have these Trump haters are gonna be. Oh yeah, but what about January 6th? Go back and actually watch what Trump said. Trump said go out there and fucking protest peacefully. You can't help what somebody does, just like you can't say all liberals are going to go try to assassinate Trump. Because some wackadoo. Probably an incel.
To me, with this, I really just want Trump to win. I'm not voting for him. I'm not voting for Biden. I'm not voting for anybody. If I do vote, it's going to be for the other guy that doesn't even get mentioned. The guy's name, Kennedy. He's actually not a bad candidate either. But I just want him to get his 4 years in and get the fuck out and be gone for good. You know what I mean? Just get it over with. They both had their run. Give Trump his second run. Get him out of there. And let's move on to the next awful fucking president, if we can. Because
that's the other thing that just blows my mind. Whether you're Democrat or Republican or liberal or whatever, let's take a step back. Like, it's not that serious. Because at the end of the day, you're fighting about who's going to be the better daddy to you. And what I mean by that is, as much as you want to think that Trump is the evil person and he's this, or Biden's the evil person, he's this, they're figure pieces. Presidents are figure pieces. Your Congress and your Senate is what controls America. Not Trump or Biden.
There's some people on there, they're still on there for the last 30 fucking years, guys. So think about this.
The thing is, if you want to change America, have term limits on your congressmen and your senators, and stop fighting about fucking Donald Trump versus Biden. Because you're stupid if you think that Joe Biden is going to... All they know is when Joe Biden is elected, they can get away with X amount. When Donald Trump's elected, they can get away with X amount. And
Correct.
that's it.
Yeah.
They're still making their millions. Your Nancy Pelosi's making her millions. Your Chuck Schumer's making his millions. Nancy Pelosi's husband that got attacked with the guy by the hammer, right? We don't hear about that anymore. Do you know why? Because they dropped the case. You drop a case from a guy that attacks a senator or whatever she is, husband with a hammer, and you drop the case because he was meeting a grinder date that went wrong and they wanted to shut it up. That was the whole thing. The husband answers the door in his fucking underwear with a glass of wine.
Now, Adam, I hear this a lot right here, what you're asking. Trump ain't gonna fix it, though. Fix what?
All I know is I did have more money when Trump was in office.
It doesn't matter who was in office at the time. When people say this, they're gonna fix what? What president is gonna fix what? I've been around for 45, going on 46 years. I have yet to see a president fix something.
No, let's go local. Let's go low. Let's go lower.
Can we just get a few things? Immigration. What president ever fixed immigration? What president ever fixed gas prices to stay a low gas price and never move or budge?
Doza, you're from California. Let's go a step further. Let's go to the local level. Let's go to the local level. We have a governor named Gavin Newsom in this state.
Just give me 1 second. This
right.
System overhaul thing, not going to happen. It's never going to happen. I guarantee you, what goes up always comes down. The rise and power of the United States one day will fall. It's just the way it is. One day it will, and that will happen before the overhaul happens. That's facts, man.
You know what's sad though. You know what's sad about the overhaul and what? It was written in the fucking Constitution of the United States. As much as Democrats and liberals and stuff like that, that's outdated and that's no. Those people were smart enough to know when you give men power, they abuse it. And it was written in the Constitution of the United States, when the government exceeded their power, you rise up against the government. What's his the blood that was written. The tree of liberty should be refreshed by the blood of patriots and tyrants. We're far past a government that isn't tyrannical. Don't pay your taxes.
Watch what happens.
Don't smog your car.
Watch what happens.
Don't pay the registration on your car.
Watch what happens.
See what happens. But again, you're so soft in your thinking that, ooh, AR-15s are military weapons. We shouldn't have them. We got to save the babies. No, you should have saved yourself and your fucking mindset. But we don't do that.
I'll tell you what I've done for the last 10 years, guys. And anybody that knows me can attest to this. They know this, okay? I have not paid a registration on a car in 10 years. I haven't smogged a car in 10 years. I haven't used insurance on a car in over 10 years. I don't play into that. I walk wherever I have to. I bike wherever I have to. I'll take a ride from somebody if I have to. People these days are just too chicken shit and lazy to actually help to make a change. If you are tired of gas prices, everybody park your car for 30 days. Watch what happens to the gas prices.
Oh, it's
they got to give it away to you.
You're coming from California, so you understand that's even deeper than that. So California, on average, pays about 90 cents more.
Adam, it's too late. You're on this show.
Right?
It's too late. You're deep balls into this shit.
California, on average, pays about 90 cents more a gallon of gas than the rest of the country. But now, because California wants to become a tree hugger, and we want all electric cars, we want to save the environment, we want to do this. So now what happens? Everybody's buying Teslas and everybody's buying electric cars, but what happens? Now you're losing money on your taxes. So now what do they want to do? They just registered a bill to try to get passed where they're going to start charging you by the mile you drive on top of your gas tax. So if you drive a Tesla, you're getting taxed heavy. Mm-hmm. The city of San Francisco, anybody in California knows they can go there. It smells like piss. It smells like shit. You walk through BART, and I'm not joking. I can go there this weekend and show you. There's people shooting heroin in the subways.
Yeah.
There's people fentanyl on the streets.
Fentanyl is destroying it.
But last year, the state of California spent $40 billion with the B. $40 billion combating homelessness in the city of San Francisco, not the state, the city. And it's a bigger shithole. It's ran by Gavin Newsom. It's ran by London Breed. It's ran by these people that have no accountability for money. They just throw money at a solution with no accountability. And you think your solution is to let's drop Biden out of office and let's put Gavin Newsom in there.
No.
Are you kidding me?
No. There's a good solution to this. There are other countries in the world that have dealt with this. There are parts of France, parts of Italy where they dealt with this, and they did away with it. Okay, there's a guy on YouTube. Watch him, Tyler Oliveira. Okay, he goes from city to city and he does documents about this, and he sees all the changes, all the programs, everything. Okay, you guys gotta watch it. Tyler Oliveira. You gotta watch him on YouTube. And these are facts. This isn't something coming from he said, she said. He goes around, he's investigating the programs, the people they set up with these programs, how they treat the problems and not the cause of the problem and not the problem itself. You know, you can treat a drug addict, but there's a deeper problem than that. Catch it before that. It's other things. So Skid Row would be a thing of the past if they would try it. But people rather say, give these people fentanyl and all the drugs and let them do their thing.
And people don't understand from California, it's so bad with the drugs and the theft that we have a thing here that nobody outside of California understands. It's called bipping. What bipping is,
as long as it's under 1,000,
if somebody goes up to your car, you can be in your car. They're going to smash your window, take your purse, and run away. So it's to the point now in some cities where they don't want to get bipped and they don't want to like have their windows replaced because there's nothing in the car. They actually leave the back portion of their car open with the note saying there's nothing in here. You can get bipped on the freeway. I'm not joking. Bumper to bumper traffic in California. You're doing 2 miles an hour. Somebody pulls up next to you and see you have a luggage briefcase in your car. You're gonna get bipped. You go to a hotel, don't leave nothing in your car, you're going to get bipped. You go to an amusement park, don't leave nothing in your hotel, you're going to get bipped. You go to the grocery store, don't leave nothing in your car because you're going to get bipped.
People are leaving. Did you see that people park and they leave their hatchbacks open? They leave the doors wide open just so they can see that there ain't shit in there to steal. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
You know, we get all these stores, these Walgreens, these Targets, these Nordstrom's, Louis Vuitton, all these stores are closing down in California.
Closing, moving out.
The makeup stores and all this stuff, they're closing, moving out because
Targets. Man,
you can go to Kohl's and watch somebody go to a rack of Nike sweats and just bear hug the rack and walk out with it. They're not allowed to touch them.
Or security. Nobody's allowed to touch them or stop them.
Now the new thing in California is they're robbing semi trucks. They wait for the semi trucks to leave like the Nike distributions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then when the truck stops at the stoplight, they Fast and the Furious pop open the back, pull out a bunch of boxes, and rob that motherfucker. Dude, it's the wildest shit imaginable. But people are like, want to pull the blind eye, like it's like, oh, because you don't like my president. I don't care who the president is. It's if he fixes something. But the bottom line is, we're never going to have anything fixed when you have Nancy Pelosi's annual salary is $150,000 a year. Answer me why she's worth like $100 million.
Cut that money down and see if you don't get a few things moving and fixed. These people make way too much money to give a shit about any problems going on in the United States, or you as a person or a citizen of the United States.
There's an actual app that tracks Nancy Pelosi's stock market tradings and sellings and buyings, where you can just go buy what she buys and sell what she sells. You're gonna make money. People make money hand over fist on it. It's wild to me, but you get people that get so involved and invested in it, where they sacrifice friendships and I'll never diss on somebody because they like Joe Biden. Or
same
Donald
with me.
Trump.
I don't care if you like Donald Trump. I don't care if you like Biden. I don't care who you like. Me as a minority and a person that only makes a certain income a year, no president that has ever been in office has benefited me where I say, ooh, I made $50,000 more this year than I did last year, and it was directly as an effect of this president making this decision that made me more money. That's never happened.
And it's
I don't know
funny that
anybody in my family that's ever happened with, ever.
it's always poor people that are arguing about who's got the better daddy. And when I say poor, it's just, I mean, you're not making $500,000 a year, $1 million a year. You're making 50 grand, 70 grand or something like that. You're poor in America. That's just factual. But to get so caught up in who's my daddy, to where you lose sleep, you lose friends, that it makes you hurt inside. I feel bad. I genuinely feel bad for people like that. Because, like, there's way bigger things to worry about in this world than who's my daddy sitting at president. I worry, because if you're that invested about who's your daddy as president, what kind of stress level you're under if you're dealing with your family in the same type of manner?
It's terrible, man. It just doesn't matter, to be honest. Adam says the issue isn't so much people liking any one politician. It's more about the politician bringing up the person's other beliefs that can be much harder to overlook.
But that goes this. It's so much deeper than that, because
I'll tell you what Trump has done. I mean, I'll tell you the one thing that I know is feasible. Okay, that they should normalize. And I do think religion, especially in the classrooms, is very important to me. Okay? That is something that is important to me. There are some schools that don't even do the Pledge of Allegiance anymore in the mornings.
Yeah.
They don't do it.
See, and I go...
All the ethics are flying out the window. Out the window. There's a guy, again, that was doing a TikTok video, and he was going around the city just asking people, do you go to church? Do you believe that there is a Jesus Christ? He wasn't doing any sermons. He wasn't teaching any Bible stuff. He was just asking a question. Yes or no? He said yes or no. He asked 100 people. Out of those 100 people, like 2 said yes. The rest of them was no, which shows that the moral compass, that the spiritual compass,
tragically
people these days
messed up.
It's messed up, man. It's not the government, it's not the senators, it's us, it's the people. It's the
Well,
people.
nobody really wants to admit what the actual problem is, because when you have to admit the actual problem, that means self-reflection, and people don't like doing that. And the actual self-reflection is, as a society, we're failing as at being parents.
Sorry,
We're
Adam. It's just, again, I'm not angry at your opinions or your questions.
no, bro. Speak your truth, bro. And you know what? Tomorrow,
we're just
and
shooting the
Wednesday,
breeze.
we're still gonna love you. We're still gonna welcome you.
If you were on a table with us, I'd be having a beer and toasting you, brother.
That's what it is.
This is all it is. It's us at a table. We're being dudes. We're talking about it. It's not about me being right, this guy being right, you being right or wrong. It's just an opinion.
I'm wrong more oftentimes than I'm right.
I'll tell you what I'm not wrong about, though, is a certain generation growing up with us who failed to be good parents. Horrible fucking parents. That's why we have so much crime. It is a huge part of the crime in the city. Me growing up, there's no way I could have been out of the house. Even up to a certain age, I could not be out of the house at 9 p.m. at night. I couldn't. I had to be in the house.
Street lights hit, you got to be in the house. No questions
in the house. No questions asked. There were big consequences. And these other parents from my generation growing up, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, because their thing is like, well, I did it when I was younger. They let their kids do it. They're out there on their own, learning from the streets.
That doesn't fly. I'm old school. Like, I got a 19-year-old daughter in college, and you know what I have on her phone? GPS. Shows me where she's at, how fast she's driving. It has crash detection. No, because that's just not how it works, because that's fucking reality. But what you're saying about these parents failing is taking accountability.
And I hate the ones that grew up saying, well, I got spanked all the time when I had my kids. I'm never going to hurt them. I'm never going to spank them.
I learned my lesson.
Fuck out of here. No.
I think as a society, people can't differentiate a spanking from a beating.
That is a good point. That's a damn good point. See, there is a fine line with you beating a kid and spanking a kid. Okay? There's a big fine line. Kids will disrespect teachers in the United States up and down, left and right. And when I was growing up and I took classes in Mexico, those teachers were allowed to put hands on your ass. Yep. And I can't remember much students being very disrespectful to them. They had their respect and kept their asses in line.
But riddle me this: we get wrapped up in all this stuff, like what we want our kids to learn or what we don't want our kids to learn and everything like that. And it's just like, I see these Facebook posts all the time, and it's just like, I laugh because, I have nieces that are gay. I don't care what people do. I'm one of those people. Yo, go get it. If Dozo was like, yo, bro, I'm gay, I'm like, bro, go get it, bro.
Dude, I was smashing donuts this weekend.
I'm not gonna click off here and be like, oh, I hate you. It's just not. Dude, do you, bro? Like, make you happy. I'm about a person being happy, but at the same time, I'm not the person that's gonna give you affirmation all the time that it's okay. It's okay. No, I don't want you to tell me it's okay. Okay. Neither you should want me to tell you it's okay. Okay for your doings or beliefs, whether it's religion or your sexual orientation or you don't think you have the right to bear arms or your freedom of speech. Yep. It's just preposterous. Like, can we all just grow up? If you fall in love with somebody, fall in love with them. Fucking do you, bro. If you want a gun, buy 10 of them. But
Adam says, religion does not guarantee good morals and values. In theory, it should, but it doesn't. And people who are not religious are perfectly capable of having good values and being good people. So to that, I'm going to answer you this. It doesn't guarantee good morals. But if you don't teach it at all, you have zero guarantees. Zero. If you send kids to school, you will have, just because you send kids to school to learn, it doesn't mean you're going to make a rocket scientist out of all of them, right? They are not all going to go to university and be Albert Einsteins, but you're going to get them at least to read and write and understand certain things of life. You know what I'm saying? Teach a kid that fire will burn your hand is better than not letting them know at all and letting them jump in the fire. There's a huge difference.
It's lessons and consequences. It's lessons and consequences. I remember I was about 9 years old, 10 years old. My mom beat my ass because I thought it was simple. I thought it was a movie. I had no idea. So we're watching. Again, 19 years old, don't know what's fucking. But he's up there and he's, Moses letting people go and blah blah blah, and I'm just mocking the movie, bro. Well, whoop my ass and explain later. Cool, I understand, but again, it's a lesson learned. It's always a lesson learned. I think I've learned more value in the few beatings that I got as a kid than any talking to that I ever got. And I'm more grateful for that than anything.
Same here. I've always been grateful for that. When you're young, you don't understand it. When you get older, you understand it. Especially after you have kids, you understand it. Take it from me. This guy, 6 kids. 6 kids. Okay? And I can honestly tell you that none of my kids right now is a gangster, a dope dealer. They are not speaking out of turn. Like I've seen a lot of kids do with their parents in their own home, and there's a reason for that. There's a heavy hand, rules, and ethics you teach at home. It all starts at home. At home. And whether you believe in religion or not, you still teach your kid not to go and hurt people. You still teach your kid not to go and kill people. You still teach your kid not to go steal from people, not to steal from anybody. It's we're talking about values. They have to be put in there one way or another.
Speaking of that, I want to take this time real quick for 2 things. One, you know how I am with my kids, bro. I'm a dad. I'm a dad, and I fucking am nothing but proud of my kids. So shout out to my oldest daughter. She put in her 2-week notice at her first job. She works at a baseball stadium. She put in her 2 weeks today because she's going to school for social work. She wants to do social work. But as she's doing that, she just landed a job where she's working with autistic kids at a social building where they pay for her schooling, they pay for her training, they pay for her mileage, they pay for everything. So she just landed that. I'm fucking immensely proud of.
Congratulations, brother.
And 2, happy birthday to my mom tomorrow. She would have been 74. 74, man. Yeah, miss her every day. Never did. I don't. She's been gone for 4 years now, and
happy heavenly birthday, brother.
Yep, that's says my 2. I want to make sure I get out there, because you understand, doesn't? How old's your oldest?
Oh, she's 22, going on 23.
23. My oldest is 19. She'll be 20 this year. And it's like, man, I look back at myself as a 19-year-old dumb kid, man, 20-year-old dumb kid, and the wife says, the girlfriend says, I'm pregnant. Throws a little stick at me, and I'm looking at it like, what's that mean? And fast forwarding through all the lumps and bruises and 20 years. I've been at my job for almost 21 years now going on of hard blue collar labor, bro. I work warehouse. It ain't fucking, I don't get to sit behind a desk or sit behind a computer. I wish I could, if you guys want to donate, that's fine. But I don't have that luxury. I bust my back and I bust my ass, and there's not a day goes by that I wouldn't do it again for the position that my kids are in. Like, they know hard times, they know easy times. And that's just, regardless of when I kick the bucket. I always think about that, man, because I be having you ever have weird dreams, bro?
Get them all the time. And it's actually weird for me when I do get them, because every night that I do sleep, it really feels like a 5-minute nap, and then I wake up from darkness. And when I do dream, which is like every other week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I trip out on that. Every night I just have these vivid, wild, like, I don't even want to call them dreams anymore. They're like fucking hallucinations. It's the craziest shit. But like, damn.
Like last night, dude, and I guess maybe it's because like my mom's birthday's coming up and just you get that in your head, but like mom's like, hey, what have you been doing? And I'm just like, just working, mom, taking care of the family. And she's like, that's good and all, but what are you doing when you die, and what are we gonna put on your grave? And I'm sitting there thinking about it, I'm like, that's fucked up. Think about. And then I came up with an answer, and I'm just like, and she was like, I love the answer. I was like, you know what? Just put an etching of my family on that grave. That's my greatest accomplishment in this world. And if that ain't good enough, then so be it.
It's not like there's anything anybody else can do or you can do about it anyways.
Exactly, bro. I don't want nobody to ever stand up at my grave and be like, he lit up the room and he was, nah, bro, he was an asshole, but he was our asshole. Just, it's wild, bro.
Let me see. Adam says, as a society, we've only been sending people to school formally for like 100 years. We have not figured it out yet. Too many people to go around thinking we know what we're doing.
But in that 100 years, though, let's timeline that. It's gotten worse. It started off where people learned some shit, and it wasn't to the point where people were learning. You could go to your school if you live in the country or whatever. You got your gun rack in the back, and then if you look, 70s, 80s, right in there. A lot
late
changed.
60s, 67, 68,
yeah.
68. It was in full force. Love is free and this and that. But I want to take that a little bit back before that. The values that I want to get back to is, let's look at the late 40s. Let's look at the 50s. What's up? We got Kevin in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you in here. At schools, they used to teach you even how to sit at your dinner table. They taught you where to put your fork, where to put your spoon, how to sit, where to put your napkin. When was the last time, and be honest, that you sat at home for a week straight, had dinner, breakfast, lunch, or anything at the same time, with you, your whole family sitting at your table, no computer, no laptop, no phone, no nothing, and you talk about your daily lives with your kids, and you sit down and you're having a beautiful dinner and talking to your wife, your kids, and getting to know their surroundings. How many friends of your kids do you know by name? Remember those commercials used to come out? It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are at? All that is gone. All that slowly. Yeah, we've been at school for a 100-year process, but a lot of things have been taken away.
That's the core of the family that's been taken away.
Exactly.
Mom and dads have to work because it's so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So the kids are forced to take care of themselves. So when they're taking care of themselves, well, what are they doing? I'm on my iPad. I'm on the internet. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And it's just like, I go out of my way every day, every single day, regardless if my daughter gets off at 12 o'clock at night and I got to work at 6 in the morning, or she gets off at 2 in the afternoon. Hey, when you get home, come see dad. And they know, how was your day? Everything good? Everything, you need anything? Let me know. It's checking in daily just to make sure that they know I'm here. They know I want to be here. And they know they have somebody. I think it's just reassuring for, like, especially a girl, to know she has somebody there.
I have 2 daughters. My 2 oldest, I bug the shit out of them. My second oldest, she gets super annoyed by it. Super annoyed. But at least when she gets older, she will never say, my dad never asked what I was doing, why I was sad, or why I was crying, or why I was late to someplace, or why I haven't been out of my room in a certain days. Like,
even the boyfriend situation. She's got a boyfriend now. And
that's a tough one.
I try to be respectful about it in a manner. I've actually, I was telling the wife, I was like, I've done better than I imagined I was going to do with her having a boyfriend. And like I told her, I just asked her, hey, how's everything going? You guys good? Is there any issues or anything, I can maybe help you with? Or, no, we're great. We don't argue. We don't fight. We don't, nothing. Just perfect. If you need any advice, I'm always here.
And that's what, like, my daughter, instead of giving her permission to leave at his house all the time because you don't want to see that guy's face all the time, I'm the total opposite. I say, no, bring his ass here.
Hey,
let him come on over. Let's shake hands. Let's meet the man. Let's meet the boy. Whatever.
So today's Saturday. He was over here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm fine with that. I'll feed you. I'll do whatever. I'm not worried about it. I know you guys are safe, and I know, it makes me feel better.
You also get to read the person, see what they're really like.
He's definitely afraid of me.
So it's best.
And I like it to an extent. I try to walk a line, but he's a good kid. I genuinely feel like he's a good kid. Got a good family. His mom's very religious, and his dad's a golfer, so it can't be that bad.
But again, going back to what we were talking about, like you just said, his mother's really religious. You feel like he's a good kid. His dad's a golfer. So, you know what I mean?
No, exactly, and that's. But again, it's nice to have a conversation where. I wish other people could have it, where you guys talk, you agree or disagree, and maybe the twins will never meet, but at the same time, you're not leaving a space angry.
Yeah,
you're not leaving a space volatile or thinking somebody thinks ill of you.
What's up, brother? How's it going? Frickzilla's in the house. Not to confuse the Big Papa Pump. Guys, we're past the hour. We made it through without at each other's throats. I say,
you know what that's called, right?
I say go Biden. I say go Trump. I say go to both of them. I say go get the hell out of here.
But you know what that's called, right? It's called being an adult.
An adult. It doesn't matter who wins, guys. At the end of the day, whoever ends up president, you have to cheer that person on and hope that they do the best for everybody, man. You know what I mean?
If you're genuinely that worried about who your daddy is, why don't you worry about who your aunts and uncles and cousins are? And those are the senators and congressmen. Hey, you're here, good brother, and we appreciate you.
And you know what? You know what my favorite people are? I'll tell you who my favorite people are. The people who never vote. The people who never vote are my favorite people, man. I love the ignorance or the non-ability to educate themselves about candidates that they say. You ask them, hey, who are you voting for this year? Who's running for president? Who's the president? I love that because those people live in a world of bliss, not knowing. I'll tell you that right now. They live in a world of bliss, and there's people, like I said, I've heard people say, I made a lot of money when such and such was in office, and I've heard people say, I lost a shitload of money when such and such was office. But I've also known these people to be at the same job for over 30 years making the same wage. So how is it that you either lost or made more money? I don't understand. I don't know. Unless you're selling drugs.
I think it's the inflation aspect of it because, I'm the same. I've been at the same job for 21 years, but it's like, eggs were $7 a dozen. Milk wasn't $5 a gallon. Bacon wasn't $7 a pound. Gas wasn't. Well, California's gas is always high, but gas. I just found gas. I was ecstatic for $4.39 a gallon.
I listen, guys. I always say this: when the going gets tough, the tough get going. I was in LA, born and raised my whole life, right? When I saw that LA was not fit anymore for me, or for the cost of living, guess what? I moved out. I moved all the way from LA to Indiana, where when I moved here, I felt like I went back in time. Where I found houses that were 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom homes with garages and driveways for $1,200 a month. Gas prices here were $2.30 a gallon. A carton of 60 eggs is $9. Like, it's just people.
My nephew's a sheriff.
People are so attached to the California titty. They don't want to get off that suckle. Get off of it. Get out of it.
My nephew's a sheriff, and he just rented a house in the same town I live in.
Mr. Stephen Hammer, what's going on, brother? What's going on?
I use these little guys. They're little wall hanger things. You poke in the wall, and you turn it, and it hides most of it, and it just holds it like, But my nephew's a sheriff in town, and he's renting a house. Not a crazy house, just a normal house. $3,200 a month.
Wow. That's like my brother, man. He's been getting better jobs as the years progressed. But the cost of living is going high. So even where he's living now is like $3,000 a month. And he's just scraping away at everything to make that happen. Even though he's making over $80,000-$90,000 a year. Like, it just doesn't add up, man. You know what I mean? I'm the type of person that I don't give up. Some people would say giving up and leaving out of state. I don't give up. I just smart about it. You gotta go. Homie, where you make it? Homie, where you make it?
That
you know what I'm saying? So, hey, I've been doing good. Thank God for that. I left LA and moved here to Indiana. And even though there was COVID and all this stuff going around, dude, God bless me, and I've been doing really good. Picked up this wild thing. We do leather work and picked up on the hobby, and you know what I mean? It's been good for me. I know, no lie. And so, you know what I mean?
I'm waiting for the world to go like what do you call it, Walking Dead style, that I'm just gonna go take over somebody's house on the lake, and that's where I'm gonna live.
I'll tell you, I was watching a movie the other day, and if it comes down to that, I know whose house I'm looking for, because I really took a liking to it. Who help me out, guys? Who sang that song? The Coal Miner's Daughter. Who sang that song? Coal Miner's Daughter.
Let's see here.
Something Lee or what is it? Who was that artist? Her name was I mean, who
Loretta
knows
Lynn.
if, huh?
Loretta Lynn.
Loretta Lynn, not Lee, but Lynn. Um, that house, and I was looking at the movie too. Thank you, Steven. Have you seen that movie? Have you seen the movie?
I have not.
You gotta watch that movie. It's beautiful, man. But the husband drives that Jeep. Oh, I want that Jeep with the eagle on the hood and everything. That was a badass Jeep. Hey, Sweet Home Alabama, baby.
Didn't she sing home? Didn't she sing Blue Bayou too?
God, I don't know her music. I just know that I watched the movie. I really liked the song. The songs that were performed in the movie, and then I was listening it yesterday while tooling leather. Kevin says, speaking of leatherwork, since you mentioned it, one question for you. Do you edge bevel both sides of the leather before burnishing? I watched a video recently where someone said to, yeah, I always, you, when I first started leather, I didn't do that. I did look at a lot of different people's leather work. If you look at Wildcat, that guy doesn't bevel his leather inside and out. You will see the clamshell tooling right on the line. It literally starts right on the line and keeps going like he's following that line. Versus Reggie or other belt makers that they will cut their line into the edge of the leather, bevel that, and then off that shadow of the beveling, the dark spot, they raise it and leave a gap, and then they do the clamshell and follow that fine line. Then they'll come back and redo the outside, which is what I do. It takes tons more time, but the effect, that little 3D look, the way things go in and out and pop out of the edges is way nicer. There's some belts that you're trying to mimic the TV look, so you definitely have to do them exactly the way they did it. So if they didn't bevel both edges, don't bevel both edges. You know what I mean? Some edges, the beveling on the outside of the edge is smooth and the inside has texture on it. So you just have to be real keen to the eye, look at all that, pay attention to all that stuff. Hopefully that helps. Well, guys, it is past the hour, way past. We're almost out of here. We're going to give this about 5 more minutes. Steven Hammer says, I wonder what Ethan thought of the badass warrior strap Mendoza's making.
Beautiful. Love it. We have something we're cooking, just like The Rock. So stay tuned.
For sure, guys. I got something really nice coming up. So basically a belt by belt. Yeah. You know what? Whenever a customer sends me a belt, everybody has the very different request. And somebody always has a different taste for things. So it's really hard to look at a lot of leather guys and say, oh, that guy does the most accurate TV stuff he does than anybody else. This other guy, well, maybe that guy doesn't get TV accurate requests all the time. Some people are like, I have a guy that's right now, I have 3 crumb rinds I'm doing. One guy wants the off-white stitching. Another guy wants the crumb rind plates on shell tooling finish. Another guy wants the crumb rind, but he wants darkened edges and silver gray stitching. I wish I could do everything the same way and not have to ask a million questions or receive a million requests from people, but you're here to serve people and what they like. So it's not that a lot of these leather guys can't make TV accuracy. It's depends on their customers. If they ask for things to be custom, they're gonna go custom all the way, or things they like, or they'll take little cues from one type of version belt, put it on here, you know what I mean? That kind of thing.
I'm gonna jump off. I gotta hit the little boys' room.
You got it, brother. From my partner here, I'm gonna say good night. Thank you for joining me, Ethan. Appreciate it. We'll be back on Gold Milk Diaries on a regular scheduled day, which is Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Adam says, you got to let me know the maker you're working with now. Ooh, that's coming up, guys, because actually that's a good question. It will be, hopefully next week, I'm going to announce finally what maker I'll be working with. I will tell you that this guy only does HD. We are not going to be doing anything SD because the price point of the HD plating is too close to what other makers are charging for SD. Believe it or not. Believe it or not, guys. So what other guys are charging for SD, just a slight upcharge will get you HD, and you will have the option of having American leather. So you can order regular belt through him and he'll get it to you, or you'll place your order and the place will be done under my supervision. They'll be sent to me and I will do the leather, and then from me it's off to the customer. So that's going to be something a little different, something that other makers don't do. And this guy is not a maker, he is a fabricator. He is mainly the guy that many other makers go to have him do their work for plating. We've had a talk about this. A lot of those guys that are supposedly makers, but they're not makers, they're more like middlemen amongst middlemen. They take your order, they take the leather to someplace, then they take the plates to be done somewhere else, and then they even have bolts welded to somebody else, and then plating to somebody else. My guy does it all under his roof. So we're going to cut a lot of those middlemen out from being able to come to him and have that assistance or work, because we need to be focusing on what we're going to be doing versus helping everybody else out. Kevin says, been trying to find out tons of information on the different leather workers. We are trying to replicate, but it's tough to find good stuff to learn from. Honestly, I'm going to tell you, like I told another guy in this hobby, blaze your own trails, brother. Blaze your own trails. Sometimes you're going to have to do things your style, your way. You can't be a copycat forever. You have to start distancing yourself away. There's a reason why Wildcat is Wildcat. There's a reason why Reggie Parks is Reggie Parks. There's a reason why Dan McMahon does his thing and Red Leather does his thing. You know what I'm saying? Because they made something, they adapted it and pushed it. So my best advice to you is do what you do, man, and do it accordingly to how you think you should do it. I'm trying, brother. I'm going to try. For sure, I'm going to try. Guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for tuning in. We talked a little bit about this whole Trump thing, and will it turn into a conspiracy in the future? Who knows? It may be one of those things that we may never know. We may never ever know. To me, it doesn't matter what your party is, whether if you're extreme left, extreme right, normal left, normal right, U-turn, soft turn, whatever. If you're Trump, Biden, Kennedy, it doesn't matter to me. At the end of the day, do we really have a choice, guys? We really don't. We really don't. This is deeper than that. I think that before we want one individual, one person to fix every problem in America we have, I think we need to really look in the mirror and take a look at ourselves. Because we the people outnumber the president by the millions, okay? The problem is not the one individual. Change has to start with us. And that's one of the hardest things to do. And that's why it's so hard for people to do it, and so easy for them to point the finger somewhere else. It's just easier to do that. So don't worry about being ring accurate. That's a relief. I would say there are specific things to make sure that to the eye they look accurate. Like one thing you want to, here's the things you want to make sure you're accurate. the style of the cut to the plates, okay? You want to make sure that the shell tooling is correct to the plates you're doing. You want to make sure that the amount of snaps and the arrangement of the snap set is correct to the belt you're doing. You want to make sure that the shape, everything is all that correct, the color and all that is correct to the belt. What you're not going to worry about is some guys are like, oh no, I think the correct texture inside the snap box is the pear shaper number 222 with this texture on there. No, it's not that one. It's pear shaper 333 with smooth texture and da. Don't matter. It don't matter. You make sure that if there's a pear shaper making that texture, you use a pear shaper to that. Of course, your eye's not gonna lie. You don't want to use a pear shaper this big. You want to get it close. If it looks it was about dime size, then you want to get a pear shaper that's about dime size. That's what you want to do. And those are the things I'm talking about. Blaze your own trails. Don't, if you go out there trying to look for every stamp that all these makers ever had, you're on a wild goose chase, because those are vintage. They're no longer reproduced. The ones that are being made now are not exactly the same as those either. Just go with what you can do. He says, the way you just said that makes perfect sense and helps a lot. Thank you so much for that, brother. Hey, no problem, brother. I try to help out as much as people I can. Of course, I'm not an almanac. I don't know everything. There's people more knowledgeable than me. But I think I've been doing pretty good since I started, which is going on about 3 years now. And considering I never even touched leatherwork before that as far as belts. Guys, thanks again for tuning in. I'm out of here. Hopefully everybody has a good Sunday. Go out there, do your thing with the family. Eat some pancakes, some sausage, some bacon. Drizzle that syrup on those pancakes. Tear it up. And if you're that weird guy that likes poached eggs, you're fine with me too, man. I like mine's over easy, baby. Like to watch them run. Love to make them run. Out of here, guys.